Good morning, everyone. In last classes, we were continuing from the rise of nationalism in India, in that we had already discussed the various movements launched by Gandhiji after his arrival in India, his early movements, NCM, roundtable conferences, everything. Now, in today's class, we will be discussing CDM in detail, which is also called as Salt Satyagraha. So, let's start. The Congress Working Committee authorized Mahatma Gandhi to determine the time, place and issue on which the CDM was to be launched after Lahore session, in which they had decided to launch nationwide movement. So on 2nd March 1930, Gandhiji wrote a letter to Viceroy Lord Irwin. In the letter, Gandhiji apprised the Viceroy of condition of the country. He also put forward 11 points to be implemented by the government. If no heed was paid to the demands, Gandhiji would start the CDM including non-payment of taxes, but no attention was paid by the colonial government, so it was made inevitable to launch the movement. Now, Gandhiji decided to inaugurate the movement by violating the salt law on the sea coast at Dandi. The government controlled the sale of salt, imposed a tax on it which felt most keenly by the poor. Due to this reason, salt was made an issue for launching CDM or Civil Disobedience Movement. Now, Dandi March or Salt March. Mahatma Gandhi launched the Salt Satyagraha on March 12, 1930. He marched from his Sabarmati ashram to Dandi, a small coastal village in Gujarat. 78 chosen followers accompanied him. The distance of around 375 kilometers was covered on foot. It symbolized the refusal of Indian people to obey British laws. The breaking of salt law formally inaugurated the civil disobedience movement, and this movement remained unparalleled to India's struggle for freedom. He urged the people to celebrate the period between April 6 to 13 as the National Week. Among the programs during the CDM movement were violation of salt law and other laws, non-payment of land revenue, rent on other taxes, boycott of law courts, legislatures, elections, government functions, government schools and colleges, boycott of foreign goods and cloth and burning of foreign cloth, peaceful picketing of shops selling liquor and other intoxicants, organizing mass strikes and demonstrations, resigning government jobs and not joining the civil, military and police services. Progress of the movement. In all provinces, people pursued the program of CDM with great enthusiasm. In United Province, no tax campaign was launched. C.R. Rajagopalachari led a salt satyagraha from Trichinopoly in the coast of Tanjore. Similar movements started in Malabar in south and Sylhet in the east. In the NWFP, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, under the banner of his Khudai Khidmatgar, actively participated in the movement with his volunteers. His volunteers were dressed up in red shirts, that's why they were called as the Red Shirts. Their main program was to propagate the Congress program. More than 60,000 persons were arrested in the course of movement in less than a year. Manipuris also joined the movement in the northeastern area. People defied forest laws in central provinces, Karnataka and Maharashtra. Peasants refused to pay taxes in Uttar Pradesh. Hartals, demonstrations and picketing of liquor shops and shops selling foreign goods were organized on a large scale. One notable point of this movement was the increasing participation of women. Women from orthodox and aristocratic families participated in the movement. They offered themselves for arrest and imprisonment also. Mrs. Sarojini Naidu, along with 2000 satyagrahis, reached Darshana Salt Works. Suppression of the movement. British government as usual retaliated with repression. All the leaders including Gandhiji was arrested. Congress and its affiliate organizations were declared illegal. Press was gagged. Newspapers could not report on the dozens of police firings that took place. Repressive laws were passed to curtail civil liberties. Now, let's see if you are able to answer this question. The main program of the Red Shirt in support of the civil disobedience movement was to offer resistance to the military operations of the government in NWFP, to carry on revolutionary and terrorist activities, to propagate the Congress program, to build up a paramilitary organization. Answer is C. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, along with his followers known as Khudai Khidmatgars, took a leading part in all the leading political movements launched by the Congress during 1930 to 47. Their aim was to inculcate among its followers the idea of service and the desire to serve their country. Now, Gandhi-Irwin Pact. At the peak of the movement, the Viceroy announced the unconditional release of the Congress leaders, and he invited Mahatma Gandhi for talks. Viceroy Lord Irwin and Gandhiji signed an agreement on 5th March 1931. This agreement is known as the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, according to which Gandhiji will withdraw CDM and he will be attending the second roundtable conference to be conducted in London. So that's all in today's class. I hope you all must have understood.